Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us here today to this shareholder webinar from Bindi Metals. I have Executive Director and Head of Exploration, Renou, here to discuss with us the announcement that the company made earlier in the week and what it means to shareholders and the company going forward. So welcome, Henry. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Peter.
I might just ask you to take us through the announcement here and bring it into perspective for shareholders.
Sure, no dramas. So yes, we made an announcement this week about an agreement for an acquisition of a rare earth project in Canada. And we believe this is a good deal for our shareholders because of our strategy to diversify into critical minerals. And with a high demand for worldwide electrification and renewable energies, we think the project has high value and have high impact exploration results. And this is also in addition to our quality copper gold projects in Queensland. So the thing that really attracted us most to the project was the historical results on the project that was done in the 60s and 70s, and especially limited amounts of drilling with some very limited rare earth sampling. However, the results came back with very high grade rare earths, up to 5.6%, as well as a high ratio neodymium and praseodymium, or NdPr, at 34%. And now that's important to note because the NdPr ratio is what is the critical element for renewable energy, particularly in magnets and electric cars, and having a high value of that within the total rare earths is very important for the project. So we think this project will add to our pipeline of exploration assets and really grow the company in the future. And not only that, the project is located in Ontario in Canada, which is a premier mining jurisdiction in the world, and is home to lots of major companies. Importantly, that we're only 20 kilometres from the Musselwhite mine, which is a Newmont gold mine, and then only 10 kilometres from the nearest winter road. So well located for infrastructure as well as other major projects in the area. The Montviel project, which is 260 million tonnes of 1.7%. And then also the Nyabeck mine, which is almost 500 million tonnes of 1.5%. So we're in a very good area for rare earths, and we think the demand for this project will be very high. So if we move on to the historical results, we can see in the figure on the in the announcement there on the right hand side that there's been a limited number of work. However, most of that is focused on phosphate and niobium exploration, as I said, in the 60s and 70s, with very little work done in between that time. So however, the work that has already been done has been high impact for rare earth elements. And so this style of deposit is a carbonatite, which is very similar to Mount Weld in Australia. And from this work, we've been able to define a number of potential drill targets and follow-up works that we can see there in the mag low areas. And it's important to note that these mag low areas are very consistent with this style of deposit. And these are the areas that typically host the rare earth minerals. So, and we can see within that figure that there are a number of areas that are supported by drill results. So we're very excited to start work on these areas, and we think that this project really has a lot of legs, and we can grow the project quickly and potentially drill out a major project. So we're looking forward to starting work on that, and we think that it's really going to add a lot of value for the company.
So Henry, the historical work that's been done there, that essentially gives you months and years of potential sampling programs already there with the data that's already been gathered. How effective is that data for you to be able to plan exploration programs from, or do you have to go and redo the whole thing again?
No, so the work that's been done before is highly beneficial. And so it's really honed in on some of the areas we want to target with more detailed work. However, we do need to do a lot of on-ground work to refine these drill targets. So the work that's been done has really proven the concept and the exploration potential, but more surface work, some more detailed modern magnetics is beneficial. So we're really planning on looking at starting exploration in summer, which will be in June, and then moving into a drill program at the end of the year.
Henry, it's we're looking for phosphate earlier on. How does the rare earth mineralization have a signature magnetic or an identifiable magnetic signature that allows you to sort of identify how to target in on what you're looking for?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's probably something I also need to bring up. So with the phosphate exploration, only a very limited number of samples from the RC work was sent for rare earth assays, and none of those assays are continuous. So while we say, we're getting 5% over 1.5 meters, all these results are open because the sampling is discontinuous. However, along the strike length of the hole, some samples are over 0.1% rare earth. So it's important to note that we expect the zones to be much wider. But yes, it's a good point that the work has defined phosphate exploration around magnetic highs. So a lot of the work that the historical work was really looking at was the magnetic highs. However, as we've seen in other particular examples of very profitable rare earth mines like Mount Weld and Niobic, that the ore zones actually sit in the magnetic lows. So, and this can be for a number of geological reasons, but potentially, it's really to do with feeder structures or some kind of structure or fault hosting the mineralization.
So Henry, it's a class 1 jurisdiction. There are operating mines. Obviously, the mining code there is friendly. What's the immediate and medium-term plan for the exploration on this asset?
Yeah, sure. So we'll be doing a reconnaissance field trip in the middle of June, and then from there that will start into full-scale exploration. So that'll be a surface geochem survey, and then detailed magnetics, radiometrics, and then we'll move into trenching, a lot of groundwork, mapping, outcrop sampling, and then really defining the targets to get the drill rig in there into the winter program.
Sounds like plenty of good work ahead. Hopefully some good news for Bindi shareholders and exciting acquisition to add to the portfolio. Henry, thanks for joining us this morning, and thank you for everybody that's joined in. If there are any questions, please email them through and I'll pass them along to Henry and the company. Thanks a lot, Henry.
Thanks, Peter.